Hey guys, Anthony Moore here. Today we're going to go over some fundamental basics of performing live. We're going to go over mic handling and angles. Now for those of you who are new to all of this, we'll start with angles because they're going to come in handy when we deal with mic handling. Angles are basically splitting the crowd into different sections so that when you are performing you can address people in specific sections and create pockets of people that are going to follow you as you are singing. So the way it works is we start with basics are 3 angles, always in groups of 3s. So a small setting would be just 3 angles. You start with to your left, angled off to that side is angle 1. Straight down the middle is angle 2, and then angled off to your right is angle 3. If you get into bigger crowds, then you can add another layer, and so then you would go 1 from left to right, you'd go 1, 2, 3, and then come closer to the stage, 4, 5, 6, and you continue to snake your way back and forth down each layer, as many as you need for the venue that you're performing in. So that's the basics on angles. Again, starting, you just go 1, 2, 3, and then closer would be 4, back to the middle, 5, 6. If it's big enough, you come even closer, 7, 8, 9, and you just continue that to as many angles as you need. So the question comes in, what's the point of these angles? Well, the purpose of the angles is you are, as a performer, you are going to be leading the audience. You have to. So the purpose of these angles is in each angle, you are going to find one person who is into whatever you're doing, whether that's comedy, singing, whatever. So you're going to find one person who is interested and following you. You can tell they're connected, they're enjoying it, they're following along, and you are going to perform to that person. And then you move angles, you find one person in the next angle, and in each angle you want to find one person who's following you, and you're going to perform to them, and the goal is their enthusiasm, their love of whatever it is you're doing will then radiate out and kind of grab the attention of the other people in that section, the other people in that angle. That way, later on, when you want to get the audience to do something or engage the audience in some way, they'll listen, they'll respond, because you have these different people now scattered through the entire audience who really do, will respond, and they're going to respond to whatever it is you want them to do. So if you tell the audience to move forward, you've got people in each angle that will listen, and when the other people around them see that, it will naturally draw them to do the same thing. So next thing you know, you've got the entire audience that is following you, and when you give them something to do, like move forward or start clapping or start swaying or whatever it is you want them to do, now they're much more likely to actually do that. So that's the point of these angles. So mic handling is fairly simple. You're trying to prevent yourself from closing yourself off from your audience with the mic. So because I don't own a mic, the little marker here will represent the mic. But you're trying to prevent it from being in the way visually between you and your audience. So when you start with angle 1 on your left, so it's the audience right, but you standing on stage looking out your left, you're going to hold it in your left hand and sing your first thought to angle 1, holding in your left hand. Now as you go to switch to angle 2, the basic rule is you always follow the mic. So as you're going to move to the right, you're going to switch first, then shift angles. And so when you're in angle 2, you're going to hold it in your right hand. So then you sing your second thought, you maintain singing right hand, angle 2, and then your next thought, you move on to angle 3, still in your right hand. Keeps it open, keeps you open to the audience, and that's your goal. Now if you come, in a bigger setting, you now come down to angle 4. Again, you're still in your right hand because you're still off that side. And if you go to angle 5, now because you're coming back to the left, then you're going to switch to the left hand for that middle angle, angle 5. And then sing that, and then move on to angle 6 again in your left hand. Now, the only time that we'll switch that up is if your music or your speech or whatever it is has reason to be kind of closed off for the sake of pain or introspective thought, something like that, then you purposely choose to switch hands to close yourself off so that it gives a visual cue to the audience that this is something more said almost more for your sake than for theirs, and they just happen to catch it, is sort of the idea. So if you're dealing with, some song where you're talking about something hurts so bad, then angle 1, you'd be in your right hand, and it kind of cuts that off, creates that break that says, I'm focused inward right now, not focused outward. So again, rule of thumb, always stay open. Left hand performing to the left, right hand when you're going to your right, and in the middle, it depends on which direction you're going. Whether you're coming from the right and moving to the left, then you hold it in your left hand. If you're coming from the left and moving to the right, hold it in your right hand. So that's some tips on live performing, some real basics, fundamentals. Make sure you just practice those over and over again so that it's completely second nature and you don't even have to think about it anymore. That way you can be thinking about other important parts of the performing aspect, and that will just come completely naturally. You just work that. It's a completely basic fundamental thing that will easily set you apart from a lot of other amateur performers or even low-level professional performers. It's just a real basic, simple thing that you can do that sets you apart and shows people, even people who won't necessarily notice it, they'll still feel that connection better, and it just makes things work really, really well. So thank you for watching, and we hope you'll be back to watch our next post.